Welcome to the wild. Hi. You're not gonna let me do this, are you? What the heck am I doing? I don't think I have an answer for that. Welcome to the wild. I'm Cypress. It's time to get a little crazy. I think quarantine has finally affected me. I am going to dye my hair. I have never dyed my hair. Way back in my early 20s, I dyed it with temporary dye, like for Halloween, and then I got it out of my system. What I did is I decided we were gonna try 3 different blues. We're gonna put them all in the hair like a kind of blue galaxy situation and just see what happens. If the color looks good, or because my hair is so red, will it make this greenish muddy cast? Will the color even show up? I don't know. We're gonna find out. So if you want to see this possibly epic fail, or possibly turn out amazingly, I'm not sure which one. Either way, there's gonna be drama. Okay, let's do this before I lose my nerve. Okay, here we go. My hair is frizzing out because I brushed it to remove any tangles. And we'll go ahead and brush it again, just for good measure. Because we're working with dye, it's important to wear an old shirt that's okay to get jacked up. I've got a junk shirt on that I don't mind getting stained. Also, I've got some old lounge pants on that are starting to wear thin. Things could get a little messy, and I'd hate to stain anything nice. Now I'm ready to begin. And hopefully transform this frizzy mop. I've got gloves to keep my hands not blue, a ratty washcloth for wiping up oopsies, and a big old towel we can trash for wiping my hands between colors. I've got a couple of options for separating chunks of hair, but really neither of these points worked as well as just using the teeth of the comb. Instead of using proper mixing bowls, I'm repurposing disposable plastic ones. No worries, I will recycle them. If you're thinking about replicating or approximating this experiment, I'm using Arctic Fox Demi-Permanent Dye in 3 blue shades. Aquamarine is the teal color, kind of turquoise, and Poseidon is more of a truer blue, kind of an ocean blue. This one I'm kind of worried about because this one isn't rated to show on not blonde hair. I'm not sure what the color payoff is going to be compared to the other two. And then Blue Jean Baby, which I guess is kind of more of a denim color, and I think this is the darkest of the 3. So in lieu of a hand mirror, I'm using this raw chunk of mirror because I don't want to get blue smudges all over my actual hand mirror. This should help me see the back of my head. Kind of. And I've got clips to section the hair. I've used the clear ones before for touching up my blue streaks, as you can see from their bluish cast. I'm sectioning off the hair into more manageable chunks. I'm trying to work on a diagonal part in the hopes that'll give the galaxy effect a more swirly, natural look. But I very quickly give up on that because I have no experience manipulating my hair like this, and I just ended up opting for separating the color in random chunks. Before I start slopping dye all over my head, I'm coating my hairline in coconut oil to help block staining. I could also use petroleum jelly, but I try not to keep petroleum products around. Frick. You might want to avoid coating your baby hairs in oil. They won't stain well that way. Okay, prep done. Let's gear up. I'm just putting the dye straight into the bowls without diluting the color at all. I'd like to get away from the really dark blues, but I don't dare lighten the colors to go over my darkish red. I'm already not sure we'll get solid coverage. Now it's time to get messy. And I immediately discover I can't feel a thing. If I can't see or feel, there's no way I can do this. So the gloves come off. The dye is safe, it's just now my hands will be blue. I started in the back because that's what everyone says is easier, but I think this first time I would have done better to start in the front so I could see what I was doing while I was getting the feel of it down. This first few chunks, I was really wondering if I would be regretting my life choices. But I did find it became easier as I went along and learned what I was doing a little bit. Now, these blues all look very similar straight out of the bottle, and one thing I did that really helped was to space them out and keep the corresponding bottles next to each one. I initially did this so I could easily squeeze out more, but it turned out to be a good visual reference for which color was which. And it was then easy to alternate without losing track of which color I'd just used. As I'm working in the dye, I'm trying to get it all the way to the root without getting the scalp. And I think next time, I'll just go ahead and hit that scalp. It'll fade from the skin fairly quickly, and I will have less risk of underdoing it on follicle saturation. Because even though I did a pretty good job for not being able to see the back, I did miss some of the roots here and there. I do have another mirror on the bathroom door. I had hoped it would help me see the back of my head, but the angles were bad and it was too far from my vanity to see any detail. Even with the hand mirror, I found myself contorting and frustrated. Do any of you have hacks for working on the back of your head that don't involve sending your cats to cosmetology school? Let me know. I'd love for this to be easier. Whew, finally done. How'd I do? Not amazing. Alright, time to let it cook for a few hours and see how it came out. Let's fast forward. I'll see you later that night. Well, here's the final result. I don't think I missed any spots. I think I did a good job coverage-wise, especially for my first time. Fingers, I think they'll fade over the next couple days, but let's look at this. There is color payoff. You can absolutely see that this is blue, but it's much harder to differentiate the three different shades. And I think going over not blonde hair, it would have made more sense to just do one color. It's like it's made my hair more dark than it's made it blue. I'm not mad at it per se, but it's certainly not worth the effort of putting three different colors on when the brown, reddish brown underneath kind of hides it. The turquoise definitely, you can see, shows up, and I'd almost be tempted to use that all by itself, but then I think would really get going on the green end of the spectrum. As I feared, it is just kind of muddy, but we'll do a wear test and see how the color works with my hair over time. I don't know. I think it's not horrible, but it's not what I was going for. But it is kind of what I expected might happen. If you really want the color to show true, you gotta have a nearly white base to start with. So what do you think? So we're gonna live with this for a little while because it's not so horrific that I can't go out in it. The colors themselves I like, of what I can see of them. I don't know. I mean, you tell me. So let's do a wear test. Does this turn green? Does it just get muddier? What happens? So let's fast forward into the future. Hello, we are back. It has been, I think, exactly 1 week since I did this to my hair, and I gotta say, it's growing on me. I think I like it. It's a lot darker than I was initially expecting, even though I probably should have expected it to go really dark blue on top of red to get any coverage at all. It'd have to be fairly dark, but it's definitely blue. Which is what I was going for, so I'm very happy about that. So how is the dye performing, first of all? Very well. 2 days after we did this, I went out and mowed, and mowing here is a 4-hour full body workout ordeal in the hot. I did get, this is my hat that I wear when I mow, and I did get just a little bit of blue here on the back of the hat band. That only happened after the first 2 hours of sweating my tuchus off out there. So I'm impressed that the amount of heat and sweat that was going on my head didn't do more damage. I think this has some real staying power, and it didn't bleed. It is bleeding when I wash it in the sink, of course, because it's going to do that, but I was able to mow the lawn without completely destroying it. I will say, I don't know if we can see in this light, Poseidon, the one that's not designed to go on anything but blonde hair, did not give me as good a coverage as the other two did. There are places in my hair where it very much looks like just a really dark, muddy version of my hair, and I'm pretty sure those are the spots where Poseidon is on my hair. So going forward, if I were to do this again, I think number one, I'm not going to try a galaxy look unless I'm starting with blonde, and I'm only going to use the 2 colors. And what I would do instead is I would get the roots with the Blue Jean Baby and then do all of the rest with the Aquamarine. That is really showing up nice. I like the color, and try to do that kind of a, not really an ombre, but the darker root situation, and see what it looks like with more of the hair in the Aquamarine. But I could also see bleaching my hair first and playing with the blues that way, and maybe lightening them with conditioner or a diluter to get more brilliant, lighter blues. But you know, there's plenty of time to experiment. Also, next time I think what I'm going to do is work a lot harder at getting dye into the roots all over. I was trying to get dye to the very base of the hair, and I just need to just get in there and slop it in better, because there are little places here and there where I did not quite get the roots as I should. But really, for the first time I've ever done that, I don't think I did poorly. I think this was a successful experiment. I'm going to leave it this way for a while, and we're just going to go with a little bit of a dark blue look for a while. What do you think? Is it working? Is it not? Alrighty, I think that's everything. So this is my hair experiment. I'm gonna get a lot braver playing with hair if all of my experiments turn out okay. Wow, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video, and until then, keep your hair wild. There we go. focus on my face or anything. Here's my honey. I got another honey. It must be filming time. I got cats all over me. The camera goes on and the kitties come up in the lap. You're trained so well.